dangerous. Ain't too many can play with us. See where this game here taking us. No barber, ain't no fading us. I ain't really saying much. Actions be louder than words, man. I just wanna be heard. For your mom to your pops to the bees to the birds, man. Cut right off on the curve, like I'm Barry Sanders. Chains on and the diamonds dancing. Game on, so it's time to go. When the rain starts, I'ma let you know. Name a squad that is better though than my whole team. We a pot of gold. I'm a dog. I'ma need a bone for my whole team. I'ma let it go like blah. Yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like what? And it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like what? Whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the very, very talented Andrew Luck.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Former Viking and Raider, it's Latavius Murray. Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's second down now. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
When I see Latavius Murray with the ball in his hands, I think that he's a dangerous player. He has good speed, good presence to run inside, nice toughness, and good vision that once he gets past the first line of defense, he can make a guy miss and turn it into a bigger game.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 5 catches, 66 yards.
And most teams mark down big plays as ones that gain 10 yards or more. He certainly has big playability, and we just saw it on display.
On 1st and 10, Locke. It's brought in complete. It's John Brown. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. Leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Come on, man. Let's go. At their own 20-yard line.
Now Haskins on 1st down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. And the offensive starters here for Los Angeles.
And how about Phillip Lindsay's rookie season? Began the year third on the depth chart. Finished it in the Pro Bowl. Not bad for an unrestricted free agent out of Colorado with speed to burn.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Second and 10. Here's Haskins again. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 18 big yards on that one, and a Charger first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On 1st and 10, it's Haskins. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, second down. A run through the starters defensively for the Texans. They were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
Anytime you can hold a team to less than 10 points, your expectation of winning that game is sky high. In fact, you'd absolutely be stunned to come away with a loss.
They'll run here with Lindsay. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. 3rd down, here's Haskins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence applied the heat.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Here are the starters defensively for the Chargers. They were terrific a week ago in the win over the Lions.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? The first carry here for Ty Montgomery. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Throwing on 3rd down, Luck. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan 1st down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Now it's Luck off the bootleg. That's complete to Taywan Taylor. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And picked up by the Chargers. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Charles, he lost a fumble last week as well. So now back-to-back weeks, maybe you expect that from your tailback, but not him.
You're exactly right because you work a lot with your running backs about how they have to protect the ball in traffic. But downfield in open space, that's dangerous as well because you may make someone miss, and their flailing hand can knock the ball away if you don't tuck it away.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 23 yards, the final tally. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there. And in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. On second down, a run with Lindsey. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And finally taken down at the 20-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. On second down now, it's Lindsey. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
That's taken in by the tight end, Perkins. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. A first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from down in Arizona. And it's the Panthers there out to the early advantage. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Here's Murray now as they run it to start the drive. And it's Reuben Foster in on the tackle.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, and you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
That was 2nd down run for Murray. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be 3rd and 10 now.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative. But you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
On the right side open is Gesicki. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Excellent field position after the face mask penalty. 1st and 10 out near midfield. Throwing now, Haskins on 1st down. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Jalen Smith able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. He's going to float this over the middle. And this is taken in at the 5. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Chargers get the quick strike touchdown.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On the ground, it's Montgomery. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain there of 30 big ones. You know, I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback. You had pulling guards, guys who could get out and run. And you can hear the great coach saying it back then. So we get a seal here and a seal here, and we run this play right in the alley. I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now an open man, that's the tight end Gesicki. It's complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And he's got the hook up here. It's Woods. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And picked up by the Chargers. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
36 to Mike. Watch the screen.
Following the turnover, it's Haskins. And this one complete to Reed. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Yeah, he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. They'll try and run for it with Lindsey. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for 13 and a Charger first.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Now Haskins. Forced out to his left. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down. Throwing again on second down. Haskins, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence, able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Now it's Haskins. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down.
We play to win. Let's go.
And now out comes Houston. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on second down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Houston. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. The Charger drive about to get going. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, it could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. And he swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
No gain on the play. It's 3rd and 10.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on third down. From the gun, Haskins on third down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Here's Matt Hawk now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And the Texans set to come onto the field. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down. And it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll just keep two hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. We'll begin up at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, where it was the visiting Raiders who were able to come away with the road win. 31-7, the final score. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they were winners in that game over the...
And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
So here are the Chargers to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10.
Ready? 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Hey, we heavy on the edges. Heavy on the edges.
Mike 5-4. Mike 5-4. Mike 5-4.
You gonna see me in your...
Second half starts with a run by Lindsey. And he's got some space here. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one good for 33 and a first. Boy, the offensive line there, that was a thing of beauty to watch them block.
I love how you give a little appreciation for those big guys up front, and well-deserved. But how about the execution behind them? You can see the hours of practice that have gone into it. Great pocket by the running back. Quarterback puts it right in the perfect spot. Great mesh point by them. The timing on point. The run even better.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 13 and a Charger first. On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
I got him. Check 3. Check 3. Check 3.
Rotate.
Throwing on second down. Haskins. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 18.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
They'll run on first down. Swift. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5.
Here we go.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Oh, lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
They'll run with Lindsey. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers. Phillip Lindsay, his 4th touchdown on the year. The Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And Woods has it complete. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Back to throw. Love. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jabal Sheard wreaking the defensive havoc.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Chargers will be set up pretty well as they take over in great field position. Phillip Lindsay and the rest of the offense heading back out. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the 3rd quarter. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Check.
On play action, Haskins. And he finds a man on a crossing route. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
56 to Mike, boys. 56. Check 56.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Haskins. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks for those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right? And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. A 14-yard touchdown. For the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
5 plays there on that drive. And it ends with the Chargers getting into the end zone. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This will be taken in at the 1. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there.
Check.
First down, here's the run to Montgomery. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Now a play fake, and it's long. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Jabal Sheard picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
Let's go for it. Let's go.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I think you can take the spirit away from another team.
And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Phillip Lindsay with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
To throw is Locke. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Play action, it's Locke. Open man is Taylor, he's got it. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 44-yard line.
First down, Texans.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Back now at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair.
675. Hey, let's get some penetration here. Let's get some penetration.
On 1st and 10, Locke. And he'll find his target, Woods. It's complete. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. Luck now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jabal Sheard able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now here's a throw, and that's Taywan Taylor with it. A gain of 8 there on the 8th play of the drive.
It's a gain of 8, and it brings up 3rd down.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 11. From the gun, here's Locke. And that's caught left side. It's Woods. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
The Charger drive about to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
Well, when we go back to our conversation with the defensive coordinator, that type of a play was not a surprise to him. He expected trickery in this game, yet somehow his defense, they still took the cheese and got caught in the mousetrap.
They try to run on first down, but this defense says no dice. They stop them a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
On second down, Swift looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So third and long. Third down, here's Haskins. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags, and I believe this is going to be a first down. They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
They run the counter. Swift. DeMarcus Lawrence in on the tackle.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
The tackle by Brian Burns.
Seventh play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll be 4th down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been...
So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the home team here, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season.